Hey there everyone, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. This is my preview for the match on Sunday, Arsenal versus Manchester City. First of all, sorry I couldn't get this out any earlier in the week. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. Arsenal, I'm sure, are going to contribute to that this weekend as we face the team from Manchester City, this Sunday at 4 p.m. at the Emirates Stadium. It's a game that there are two ways of looking at it. We haven't seen Arsenal play in 2 weeks. Thank God. That game last weekend, England versus Lithuania, one of the deadest and dullest matches I've ever seen, but it was a welcome relief from the Premier League, not having to watch Arsenal after our dismal form, our last game being that 3-1 defeat at the Hawthorns to West Bromwich Albion. Absolutely horrendous game, no passion, no drive, no determination, just a flat, all-round, disastrous, catastrophic performance from Arsenal, but we won't get into that because it's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new chance for a bit of optimism for Arsenal anyway. It's a game that is massive in terms of the top four. If you care about that at this point, if you're like myself and you're a pessimist, then you're probably expecting a worse going into this game and you're not looking forward to it too much. But I think, as I've said quite a few times at this point in the season, when we are practically out of every competition by the FA Cup, it's just a case of wanting to see Arsenal play well, and I said the exact same going into that game against West Bromwich Albion, and of course Arsenal didn't do anything to put me in any sort of good mood whatsoever following that game, and I'm hoping that against Manchester City at home we put in a more spirited performance. City are a very exciting team under Pep Guardiola. Granted, they've got their flaws at the back. Guardiola's system has been very, I would say, questionable, the amount of times he's changed it, playing Kolarov at the back. Granted, it has worked for them at times, but the way he puts square pegs in round holes consistently, the way he's continuously changing the teams, playing Fernandinho at right back, I mean, just things that look crazy on paper. I mean, we all know he did it with Bayern Munich, playing players out of position on a regular basis, and granted, it did work for them, but it just seems to be a bit odd, and he doesn't seem to know his best 11. He doesn't seem to know what players work in their best positions. I think he's done some good work recently. They seem to be a bit more defensively capable. Up top, they're scoring shed loads of goals. Yaya Touré's found a starting berth in this team. David Silva's playing some of the best football I think he has played in a Manchester City shirt. Leroy Sané's really coming into his own. He looks fantastic. Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, all these players that are, they're just working so well for City up top, but at the other end of the pitch, in the defensive bunker, that's where they really are having some problems this season. So I think that we can score goals against this Manchester City side. I said that in the preview for our game against them back in about December when we played them, and that's kind of when our season fell apart, losing in subsequent weeks to Manchester City and Everton. I mean, we know that they're capable of beating us. We probably should be capable of beating them as well if we bring our A game to the table. We've got a very, very fit squad going into this game, so no excuses not to see a good performance and a strong starting 11 from Arsenal. The thing that was really worrying about me from that game against West Brom is that that was the team that I wanted to see start the game, the team that Arsene Wenger played. It was a really exciting team. I think we saw Xhaka, Ramsey, Chamberlain in the midfield, and then up front we saw Walcott, Welbeck and Alexis, and that was a really exciting, attacking, fruitful midfield and attack, but it was just awful throughout the course of the game. Welbeck was barely in it. The only one going forward that looked to have any intent was Alexis. Walcott really struggled to get into the game, so I'm hoping that these players, if we are to start with a similar lineup, play to the ability that they're meant to be able to play to. What I mean by that is we just need to see more from them, because they were awful in that game against West Brom. We've seen that far too many times this season in a game against Manchester City, in a game that is imperative for our top four finish. We need to see good performances from these players, but we've seen time and time again that we falter against the top six sides. So massive game for our players, but then again, I mean, it really does come down to, from a fan perspective, how much you care about this game in terms of what it means to our season. A top four finish is not ideal for us. I really do struggle to care about it and get geared up for a game like this. I know there's still a load of tickets on sale for it with just 24 hours to go until the match. So yeah, I mean, I'm struggling to get psyched up for the game, but as I say, I want to see Arsenal put in a good performance and have something to cheer about and smile about at the end of the day. I don't have my week ruined by Arsenal putting in another flat, another disturbing performance. And I would call them the disturbing performances because they're, in a way, they're even worse than what they have been in recent years when we've got arguably a much stronger squad. So for me, that's a cause for concern. Mesut Ozil comes back into the Arsenal team. I think we'll probably see, I think Chamberlain may drop from midfield and we'll see a midfield trio of Xhaka, Ramsey, Mesut Ozil. And then up top, I want to see, I know it's questionable, but I want to see the same front three that started at the Hawthorns. I'd give them a second chance. So Walcott, Alexis, Welbeck. Get at this City side with with pace, with power and agility. So those three start up top for me. Backline pretty much picks itself, I think. I'd probably bring in Kieran Gibbs, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'd be going for Gibbs, Mustafi, Koscielny, and then Hector Bellerin, and then in goal it's going to be David Ospina because, of course, we have lost Petr Cech. But massive game in terms of the top four and what it means to the club financially. As fans, that's not what we want. But it's something that I buy into the idea that it is important in terms of attracting big name players. Of course, a few days after this game, we do face West Ham United at home, another chance to claim 3 points. So I think the mood around that game really will be centred on how the game on Sunday goes. But yeah, I'm just hoping to see a good Arsenal performance. In terms of getting top four, it's important that we win this game, yada, yada, yada. You know exactly what it's like at this point in the season. We've all been here before. Anyway, guys, please do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to AFC Game by Game, and I'll be speaking to you very, very soon.